It's called Stump the Doctor. No question.
Stump the Doctor.
See if you can hit me.
Okay.
But you can't, because I'm not afraid to say I don't know.
So I'm going to start over here.
Go ahead. Good question.
I thought we talked about the soy isolate and the sedative.
Yes.
Because I find too much soy. Can you explain soy isolate to me?
Let me explain soy, and I feel very strongly about this, as I do about many things, as you know. Soy has gotten a lot of controversy out there, and it's because soy hits the estrogen receptor on the cell. So it has estrogenic activity. The thing about it is, though, it's only 1/50th to 1/1000th as estrogenic when it hits the receptor as estrogen. So it acts as an estrogen blocker. If soy is there, estrogen can't get there. So all the worry and fear about estrogen effect of soy, soy is doing the opposite. You know what really convinced me of that? It's a bean. Everybody say bean. Bean. It's the only vegetable source that contains all the amino acids, complete protein. It's the healthiest bean on the planet. You don't have to be afraid of a bean. My wife had a estrogen-sensitive breast cancer. I would still have her drinking the soy milk that we have drank for years. We went from rice milk because the soy's got a better protein and sugar profile. And our kids went right from mama's breast to soy milk. We love soy milk. But if you have fear of it, just don't take it in. It's perfectly safe. We've chosen it because it's healthy. It actually helps your body fight cancer. So the whole scare about being afraid of a bean, everybody say, I'm not afraid of a bean.
I'm not afraid of the bean.
You know, I'm telling you, the fear of it is worse than the bean itself. If you understand. The next question.
Thank you. I've had several questions from, I'm working with nurse practitioners in the OBGYN field, and they want to know about the estrogen rhythm. What is the source of the estrogen today?
You know what? I can't be specific enough here because I can say I don't know for sure. I think it's probably for the progesterone or GAM source, and for the estrogen, I do not know. I don't know. Dr. Formsby and the formulator would be able to answer that question, but I do know it's bioidentical and natural plant-based. So we can know that.
We'll find out.
Sorry about that. We can find out though, but I don't know that. I wish I knew that. If somebody else finds out, let me know.
We'll find out.
Ask the product coach. Let me know.
Okay, I'm one of those that you talk about water filters and the toxin and stuff like that. I have to take them. I have a bad kidney. But the relief that you have, it has sulfate in it. And I'm allergic to sulfate.
You said you have a bad kidney. Does that mean you have a good kidney?
I have one good one and one bad one.
That's good. It's good to have a good kidney, right?
Actually, it's damaged from the bottom half of my body.
Okay. You know, kidneys, one thing about kidneys, you can live with just one of them. If one goes bad, the other one can grow twice the size. So if you got to have an ordering system go bad, it's the kidney's a good one because it can compensate, and that's good.
Yeah, but on top of it, I get the kidney stones on top of it every 6 days.
Okay, kidney stones, here's what I recommend for kidney stones. Stay hydrated. Take the juice of a half of a lemon every day. Squeeze it and take that in. That'll keep the urine from the kidneys themselves from making the stone. And that's good. That's a good thing to do. As far as the relief, was it you were saying?
It has a magnesium sulfate in it, I believe. Well, there's some kind of sulfate in it. Magnesium sulfate in it, and I learned the sulfate, that's a sulfate.
Yeah. In the form of magnesium sulfate, it's not going to cause the same sort of reaction that you would for something that would be a real sulfur in the antigenic form. So I would just take a relief, bust it up into 4 parts, crush it up and put it under your tongue, 1/4 of a relief. If it doesn't cause any problems, go to half, 3/4, a whole. And my speculation is you'll be able to tolerate 1 to 3 of them, no problem. But let's just ramp it up. If you're anything you think you might be allergic to, that's the way to go. Next question.
Dr. Son, I have a question. My daughter has to plant the first time. And her uppers, she got a little plant. Well, she did a second plant, and she did it higher, and she got rags all over where she had put it. And she says it's itches. So, is there an allergic reaction?
Okay, very rare to have an allergy to the wrap. I don't technically know of any specific examples of that. It's not impossible. But what often happens if people do a wrap and they get some kind of a rash, it's because the wrap is really good nutrients. They start pulling things out. It's what we call a healing crisis or a detoxification. So what do? Go to another area, start with a smaller area to target at first, and build yourself up to be able to use the wrap. It's not necessarily a bad indication. Next question?
Hi, Dr. Ron. For a person that does not have a gallbladder, can they still use the product regularly?
If you don't have a gallbladder, not only can you use, you should use. Gallbladder helps to secrete some emulsifiers that help the body to deal with fat. So anything that's going to help the body deal with fat would be wonderful, which regular would do, fat fighter would do, alternate thermal fit would do. Yes, absolutely, you can use it if you don't have a gallbladder. Next question.
Dr. John, what would you recommend to someone that has increased blood pressure or high blood pressure? What would you
High blood pressure. You know, we can give you poisons that will lower your blood pressure. I can take your blood pressure all the way down to 0, Rob. But I'm ignoring the cause of the problem. See, really treating the physician. What's the cause of high blood pressure? Well, sometimes it's just a simple mineral deficiency. Calcium, magnesium are the most common ones. Magnesium is the natural calcium channel blocker. If you have a calcium channel blocking antihypertensive medication, and you know what I'm talking about if you are on one, get off. Magnesium is the natural way to block calcium channels and bring blood pressure down. So start with vitamin greens for sure, but the real cause of high blood pressure most of the time is because of hardened arteries. The arterial system is clogging up with plaquing caused by free radical damage, and the God's answer to that for your health are antioxidants that come from fruits and vegetables and are loaded in vitamin greens. So vitamin greens and exercise is great for getting blood pressure down to normal, getting the fat levels under control, getting to ideal weight, do some exercise, stay hydrated, vitamin greens, say goodbye to high blood pressure.
Okay, I am going to get across there, y'all, but I'm going to take 3 more here, and then I'm going to cut it outside there, okay?
And read my section in my book on high blood pressure. There are only 1 or 2 pages in the back, 25 common regimens for different areas, and it tells you some simple things to do.
On the estrogen, you said something about there was a hormone also in there about that is when they peak at pregnancy or getting pregnant. Would that be something somebody could also take when they're trying to get pregnant?
You know, it's an interesting question. Can you take the estrorhythm when you're trying to get pregnant? Estrorhythm is the normal amounts of progesterone and estrogen during the 28 days of a cycle that a ladies have. So I think anything you can do to normalize that cycle would be a benefit. And if someone's having a fertility issue, there's nothing wrong with trying it. It's certainly safe to try. Give it a try, and let's see. It's a lot less expensive than some of the measures that people are taking for getting pregnant. Yeah.
Dr. John, if I have acid reflux problems, is the thermal fit going to exacerbate that?
If you have acid reflux, is thermal fit going to exacerbate that? Good question. You know, acid reflux, cayenne pepper does not become an irritant until it is cooked. Did you know that? And of course, our Capsamax is not cooked cayenne, so it's not going to be an irritant. So you can take it with food. But my little trick that really helps is take a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar with meals. Really a good trick for heartburn. It really works. And then stay hydrated. Yeah. Apple cider vinegar.
What would your recommendation be for people who are on chemotherapy or coming off of chemotherapy in regards to your products?
Chemotherapy going on, you're coming off of regards to products. I'm very passionate about this because I've had some oncologists try to tell me that you should not take nutrition when you're on chemotherapy because we're trying to kill cells and we're trying to make them healthy. Well, that is ignorance going to seed. And so sorry, oncologists, but you know, when you're killing cells with chemotherapy and radiation, there's enormous toxins being released that your body's got to handle. A lot of times people die not from the cancer, but from the toxic effect of chemotherapy and radiation. By the way, if you want to know whether or not to do chemo or radiation, my recommendation is read a book by Ralph Moss, MOSS, PhD, called Questioning Chemotherapy. He specifically lists what tumors, there's only about 8 of them, that really have benefit from chemo or radiation, other ones don't. Listen to this, just get you started on chemotherapy and radiation and cancer. They did a huge study, cost millions of dollars, asked 118 oncologists if they would take a stage 4 cancer patient and recommend multiple chemotherapy and radiation regimen, protocol. And all 118 said yes, which is predictable because that's state of the art, and if you have to keep your license, that's what you do. Then they asked them anonymously, would you do it to your own body if you had stage 4 cancer? 118 said no. What is wrong with that system? Don't take a rocket scientist and draw conclusions from that. He's smart.